How are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. I'm happy to be back at it. I was short sabbatical away. Felt a bit lost last week.
What did you do?
Well, I went to the Lake District and climbed a small family mountain with my 4.5-year-old lad. So I was very proud of that. I got Marlin Yard to book me some drinkeries out in Manchester. So I had a reintroduction to my social life, which I regretted on Friday morning because I can't drink as much as I used to. I did a bit of planning and I just tried to get away from the game as much as I could and realised that there was no chance of that happening. I just wanted to be back here and cracking on really, but you got to give yourself the break, got to try at least, haven't you?
Cool. Can I jump in and start it all off?
Yeah, go on.
Great. Look, you have the ultimate anti-Jasper Visa weapon in his big brother. How important is it going to be shut down their sappers by your sappers?
Yeah, Banga Boca. I've called that in the past. I had that competition called Banga Boca. They always get riled up, don't they, for playing their own countrymen, these boys. Look, it's not just Jasper, is it? They've got a few big ball carriers and some that potentially go under the radar of a Nadalo or a Genge or a Jasper in terms of Scott. Like, he's a great carrier for him at 12. So physicality is a word that we've bandied around a lot this week, that we're getting excited over. I'm sure it's no different in their camp, knowing Steve Borthwick.
But the fact is that you must take it sort of as a compliment that they decided to go down exactly the same route that Sale have gone down, as in buying lots of South African beef.
Compliment. Yeah. I don't.
It's a template.
I don't think they're trying to emulate us. I seriously don't. I think that would be an insult to Steve Borthwick. You're only ever going to be second best if you do. He's probably done what's the practical and pragmatic solution for the salary cap at the moment for the kind of team that he wants. But I don't think they've taken a look at us and said, right, we're going to do that. That's not his style, that.
Thank you.
All right.
Can we ask you some Manu questions, please?
Yeah, by all means.
What's the latest return date, if you have one, for when we can expect to see him back in action?
All being well and him hitting all his markers sometime around the European Cup final. It's a shame, the Champions Cup final, that we're not playing in it because he could be making his debut for that, but sometime around that. So that is 2 to 3 weeks. You know what we're guarding against, Dan, isn't his Achilles. His Achilles is fine. It's making sure he doesn't re-injure himself through a soft tissue.
So that would give him what, sort of 2-3 games at the end of the season?
Yeah. Well, 3 games of the official season, and we're not discounting Bath, but we're not just looking to play 3 games. You know, we've got aspirations that are a little bit higher than that. So you say 3, I say 5.
Okay. 5 best case scenario.
5 games.
Would that be enough of a run for him to get his fitness up to the level where he can perform for the Lions?
You're only talking game fitness here, aren't you? Game fitness of an extremely experienced player, right? Because it's our job to get him up to game fitness before he plays. That's why I'm very tentative at saying when he's coming back and him hitting his markers, because I don't want to throw him in there at 80%. He will re-injure. He has that history of doing that, doesn't he? So we're trying to get him up to a level of, I guess, physical aerobic conditioning that he'll be able to last a game. He'll be doing activities which will be on game metrics in terms of metres per minute and the rest of that, so we can survive a game and then some. So the rest is just really about his timing and anticipation and clarity of thought in a game environment. That's not fitness. That's probably just I guess game minutes is one way to look at it, but he's had thousands because he's that experience, like I say, and it comes back to these players quicker. Look at Alud Diaga, who was out for, well, I don't know, 10 months, whatever. He came back in and got man of the match. So I'd put it on him to come back and play extremely well.
Because obviously Warren's announcing his squad on Thursday, so do you think it's in any way a leap of faith for him to choose Manu when I guess there is a slight question mark there, or do you think that his past record and getting back up to speed and his experience means that's not such a risk?
I can only talk for myself, can't talk from the legend that is Warren Gatland's perspective, but it's not a leap of faith for us to sign him again. It's not a leap of faith. It's a calculated risk and a good one for me. I've no doubt he'll get back to playing his best rugby. He's very happy here and he's very motivated and he's a very good player, and you get those three things together then you end up finding form. So I think he'll find form. Whether or not he wants a Manu Tuilagi on form on that lines, that's his choice.
Are you aware he's in Warren's thinking? Is he on the long list as far as you know?
No, I tell you, I'm aware he's on the panel of BT Sports thinking when they were deciding Lions teams on Sunday night, and that was all fun and games. It shows you the calibre of player he is. You know, you see him around here, you're like, oh, it's Manu, make us a coffee, have a chat to him, ask him about his family and his little one and little Leo. But when you step back and you look how people are talking about him, you realise it's Manu the legend. At his best, he's one of the world's best players. That's why we wanted to keep him. We're gonna make him back. We're gonna get him back to his best.
Thanks.
Cheers, Dan.
Have you spoken to Warren Gatland or possibly anyone else about Manu to kind of alleviate any fears that they might possibly have from the outside?
No, I haven't.
If you were Warren Gatland, I take it you'd pick him and you'd take him on the plane with you. By the way you spoke about him just then.
I'm not Warren Gatland, but yeah. Yeah, I would. If I was picking, I'm not in. I haven't even. My knowledge, my sphere of knowledge is so narrow and blinkered to the players I have under this roof and the team I'm playing this weekend. I don't look outside of that. And Warren Gatland and his team are going around the country, the four countries, the 5 countries, whatever, taking in game after game and having all these conversations. So you're really asking the wrong person. I don't have that scope of knowledge to take in all the other players that they're considering. You're just asking me about one of our lads who we've re-signed, and you're going to get the same answer. I love the man.
Oh, no, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Alex, I was just on a call with Northampton. I'm talking to Phil Dowson about Corny Laws, same sort of subject, but about what experience teaches a player to get back to recapture those that game feel that you were just talking about, and the value of the value of learning how to come back from injury. Do you see that in Manu, that he understands how to hit top form as soon as he comes back? I guess the way you said about Lou Diego suggests that you probably do.
Yeah, we had a sit down with Manu 10 days ago, and we tried to get from him what he needed to hit the deck running. And it was a 5-minute. It was that short. There wasn't really discussion. He's like, I need to have clarity in the attack. For the most part, because if he gets that going, then he understands where he needs to be and the timing and the depth of his running lines. Then he's into the game and he brings his X factor into it. Because defensively, you stick to the system, but attack, it's a bit more about decision making and comms. So we've already included him in our attack leaders meetings where they have open discussions tactically, strategically about every game going forward, even though he's not involved. So he's already started that process, that thinking process of where he fits into our structure and what he's looking for. in opposition. So there's that. So that's a good thing. I think he understands more than most how to come back from injury because he's had more than most, hasn't he? I was speaking to Ben Curry about it today, and he's used this time because it's a similar thing. I hadn't spoke to Manu about it actually, but Ben's faced an injury and got re-injured, and he talked about using this opportunity to build up mental calluses, to build up a resilience. And a lot of people think that resilience is something you have or you don't have, a mental resilience. Can you bounce back? Can you come back? Where Ben's understanding of it from reading, and he educated me today, is that you can build that resilience up. You can build a mental callus, if you will, and use the experience as a means to either come back stronger or understand yourself better for what you need. Some people just get injured and just never come back the same player, do they? You know what I mean? They get injured, it takes a little bit out of them, it takes a little bit off them. They lose a little bit of that motivation, potentially. And in talking to Ben, I know he's not one of them. I've seen it from Lude, who's come back better. And Manu, if he was about just coming back and earning a bit of crust, about just coming back and seeing out the last few years, I don't honestly think he'd be here. I think he'd be somewhere else where they're paying more money and he'd have an easier ride, because it's not easy here. We're working hard. Whereas I think he wants to come back and be brilliant again. I do. And that's the conversations we've had in some, not in those words, but in so many terms. So if I were to back him to come back and be at his best, anyone, and then I'd back him for being one of them.
Thank you.
Just hi there, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Just wondering if your Faf, who you've obviously got there as well, whether he wants Manu playing for Barnes. You suspect possibly not.
Yeah. So, they're all good players, aren't they? They're all. If I'm bigging up Manu, I'm slating somebody else who's also a good player and could do an equal job. But yeah, I don't think anyone want to face a Manu at full strength.
And just while we're on the subject at the end of the season, as I say, if Manu comes back as you hope he does, and you keep everybody else fit, you're in a decent position, aren't you? As with that final run. There's never been a season like this before. We're ending so late in June. I just wonder how you think you are from your perspective.
Yeah, in a good place. I think we're in a good place. I think we're in a good. Jesus, I'm not on waffle here, but I've had that 5 days off, so I've had that time to reflect, and I've come back in so excited about this business end of the season. But it was my fellow coaches that said, well, the business end, you can't start talking, you start thinking about the cups and the finals, which are potentially 7 games away, because you take your eye off the ball, what's happening this weekend. So it's them that rein me in. And then I started thinking, right, well, what am I excited about this weekend about? And for me, it's a really good test of this group, of where we're at and how far we've come with all the work we've done. Because this is the first return game that we're going to have where I've been lucky enough to be involved with this team. It's the first return game. Against a side, I might add, who are much improved. Like, I think Borton's done a great job. That second half against Ulster was pretty special. So we're under no illusions that although we think we've improved and we want to see that and we want that improvement, we want to test ourselves this weekend, it's against a much improved side as well. So it's a really good challenge for us. That's what I'm excited about, actually. Not so much the 7 weeks, but this Friday night.
Thank you.
We're good? Any other questions?
Yeah, Alex, we know what's happening with the Lions. Have you been told anything by Rassi or any of the South African Felix about what's happening with your Sappers in terms of when they're going back, when they want them back?
Oh, well, they'll have them back as early as they can. Obviously, they'll let us keep them for the finals, from what I'm hear. Waloed, there's a chance potentially he can go back early as long as his rehab is in a good place where he can go back before the last game of the season and start prep with them. And it's not when they want. I think they've been good in terms of getting them, calling them back. It's the length of time they might be away, because they might be backing up that Lions tour with the Tri-Nations, so we might lose them till Christmas, which is a massive blow, and might be a big blow for Leicester, as you mentioned, Chris. Who knows? But a big blow for us. That's the opportunity for the lads, and we've had some great lads come through, and I've got a few more in the wings, to be honest. So,
okay. Thanks, Alex.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, lads.